Start streaming. Right. Hey everybody. Test the sound out. Sorry. Check, check. Okay. So, happy Thursday. Hi, Danny. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for saying hi. I'm going to do a little original to welcome people in as people come on into the stream. Play a shortened version of a upcoming original of mine. Called Where I'm Going Now. I was made to make it. This is where I was from. Anything I wanted to do, I would fit like a glove. When she left, the children started breaking me down. So I made myself a man, made my way into town. Anytime I'm by myself and bleeding, all the while it seems you're always there. Anytime I find myself believing, inside the court is where I'm going now. Finally faking, I'm kicking up dust. I can take the taste of blood, I'm living for lust. I was born to play it, won't you give me the touch? 'Cause I absolutely am everything that was us. Anytime I'm by myself and bleeding, all the while it seems you're always there. Seems that you're always there. Anytime I find myself believing, find myself inside the court is where I'm going. Where I'm going now. Where I'm going now. Where I'm going. Where I'm going. Where I'm going now. Yeah. Where I'm going now. Where I'm going now. Where I'm going now. 'Cause nobody knows but you. Yes, inside the core is where I'm going now. Yes, inside the core is where I'm going now. Hello, everybody. Hello, Andrew. It's going well. Going well. Really nice weather today where I'm at in Colorado. Spring is here, and it's nice. It's a nice feeling to feel the sunshine a little bit. Julia, hi. Good to see you. Heard it a couple times in your other channel. Yeah, that's right. I do have another channel, and thanks for your support, Julia, as always. So I do have a video of that on my other channel, which can be found in the description below. It's called Mitchell Thomas. So, yeah, that song is called Where I'm Going Now. What model Taylor is that? So this is a 714 CE. So 714, so Indian rosewood back and sides, spruce top. The C stands for cutaway, which is, you got to have a cutaway for me. And then electric as well. So it does have a pickup, and which is great because I do play this when I'm playing acoustic shows. So today I thought would be a fun chance to do something a little bit, well, almost risky, is to basically ask you all to basically request a song that you'd like me to see how I would transcribe it in real time. YouTube may not be thrilled with me playing songs, so I've never really done that where I play songs on the live streams, the recordings, and then, but I think it should be okay. So sometimes people have been asking, how do you learn songs by ear? And not only that, but how do you specifically, or how do I specifically learn a song by ear? Because a lot of the songs I've taught have been requests, songs I've never heard before. I'll listen to it a few times, depending on how difficult it is, maybe a few dozen times, right? And I'll basically learn it by ear. I do read music, and I read both standard sheet music notation. I haven't read tabs in over 10 years because I prefer actual notes. But 95% of the time, I'm learning these songs by ear. All right. Yeah, I know. Danny made a good comment there. Stay away from Hotel California. Yeah, we won't be playing any Eagles, that's for sure. I know that there is that issue with the Eagles. They really do not like people playing their music on YouTube, so we will stay away from that. Speaking of Hotel California, I do have a lesson on Hotel California, and it was at first blocked, and then I took out the part where I sang, and it's doing really well on the channel. For this channel, which is new, it's got, I don't know, 30,000 views, which is a lot for us. So anyway, think of some songs you'd like me to transcribe by ear, and throughout this live stream, I will literally show you how I would learn it by ear. And there'll be some other things I'm going to teach as well today. So let's start with the content, with the lesson, right? And I hope everyone's doing well. Let me know. Let me know what you're doing currently with guitar. What are you working on? What songs are you working on? Are there any concepts or issues that you're having that I can help? All right, Andrew says, I've been trying to figure out We Can Run by Grateful Dead. It's one of the songs Brent used to sing. Okay. Well, we can start with that. So let me start with a little bit of a spiel about how to learn songs by ear, and then keep the requests coming, and then I'll sift through a few in real time, and I'll show you how I would approach a song that I've never heard before, and to basically learn it by ear. Or maybe I've heard it once or twice in the radio, but never really learned it on guitar. So that the goal is to be able to do this for yourself, right? Because I would say one of the most important skills, if you talk to professional musicians, not necessarily artists or songwriters or artists, but people who are in day in, day out, they're gigging, they're like a side man, side woman, they're playing gigs, they're in a lot of situations, playing in multiple genres, which is kind of what I've been doing my adult life. One of the most important skills is ear training, and being able to hear songs by ear. A lot of times I'll try to just learn a song the first time I hear it, right, and be able to play it. So that's kind of the goal. Sabroso, hey MT, how's it going? I just learned We Are the World, by Michael Jackson by ear. Hey, congrats! He learned We Are the World by Michael Jackson. Love Michael Jackson. What a inspiration that guy was. Let's dive into it. I've got about 9 or 10 ideas that I wrote down. I'd like to share a few. All right. So you're not going to like all of them because it's hard work, right? But it's so important. So first is learn the major scale in all 5 positions. All right. And it doesn't have to be on guitar, but we're going to stick to guitar. But learn the major scale, whether it's with guitar, voice, or piano. Ideally all 3. So let's start with C, and the reason I say learn the major scale is because we're going to be talking about intervals, and they can be scary because you have all these intervals and they have a distance between 2 notes, right? But if you just learn intervals in an isolated manner, you're going to be a little bit lost, okay? Whereas if you really get comfortable with the major scale, all of a sudden you find the intervals within a scale that we've all been hearing our whole lives. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I know that in Europe they're really big about teaching solfeggio. In America it's not as common unless you're a music student, unless you're studying music in college or maybe in choir. So you could think of it as do, re, mi, or you could think of it as the letter names C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, you could think of it as whole steps and half steps. Whole steps meaning 2 frets. Whole step, half step between the 3 and 4. Half step, whole, half step between the 7 and 8. Half. 1, so root, whole, half, whole, half. You could also think of it in terms of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is probably what most professional musicians will really rely on, is the numbers, okay? When you get to 1, you just repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can think of 1 as 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the reason that's important is because everything that we do, including minor, including dominant 7, including diminished or whatever, Mixolydian, Dorian, all these things you hear about, they can be compared to the major scale. So you get the major scale in all 5 positions, and you count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Then you start improvising in it so that you can hear the notes. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. It sounds silly, but really this is crucial because then you can start composing in your head away from the guitar, and I could think, okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 6, 5, and every number has a sound relative to the root being 1. So a lot of times when I'm stuck in traffic or when I'm killing time at whatever I'm doing in the DMV line, I'll compose in my head. And I was doing this especially in high school when I was obsessed with ear training. And I'm so glad that I did that because I would just sit there and I would think, okay, 1, 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 7, 6, 5. And you can verify it on the guitar. So I'll sing 1, 3, 5, 4, 2, 3. 3, 5, 6, 5, 7. All right. And you verify that with the major scale. So that brings me to another point. You really want to sing, okay? Doesn't mean you have to be the next great singer, all right? Doesn't mean you have to take vocal lessons or work on your voice tone and all that. It just means that you have to sing some of these music theory elements if you really want to take advantage. Because what you don't want to do is study music theory in an academic way, barely touch the guitar and barely sing it and just understand things, and then when it comes to playing music, you're like, well, I don't know how to apply it, right? So you want to sing these things. So sing the major scale as you're playing it. Okay. So that would be my first suggestion. All right. So what else? That would be one thing. The other thing is learn chord tones. So what are chord tones? Well, they are the notes that you find in a chord. So if I have a C chord, I can analyze the numbers of this chord. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. 1, 3, 5. That's all we do. And even though you've got chords with 6 strings, if it's a C major chord, or if it's an A minor chord, or an F major, or a G major, there's really only 3 notes that are being repeated, unless there's unless you're playing like a 7 chord, or certain types of add 4s or add 2s, or E minor 11. Obviously, you'd have more than 3. But generally, for major and minor that are non-7 chords, it's just 3 notes. So get to know those 3 notes. 1, 3, 5. And the reason that's important is because if we think about the 7 notes of a major scale, that might be a little bit overwhelming at first. So you want to get comfortable with the actual chord tones. And can you sing those chord tones? Do, mi, sol, do, mi, do, mi, sol, do, mi. Let's go to a G chord. Do, mi, sol, do, mi, do. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1. D chord. Do. Okay, instead of saying do, I'm going to say 1. 1, 5, 1, 3. All right, so being able to play that and sing it. Bonjour, Francois. Nice to see you. All right. So that would be, some theoretical approaches to ear training, because you really want to train your ear to recognize these scale degrees. Not even talking about intervals yet, but just scale degrees. Just really get comfortable with major scale and chords. And don't just play them and say, well, these are the right frets, and now I'm done. Yeah, that's true. You can have fun, but without understanding it. But might as well, go the extra mile and say, okay, 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1. Hear the sound of that. Do, sol, perfect fifth. Getting in intervals now. All right, let's play. Keep the requests coming. We've only had one request for We Can Run by Grateful Dead, so I will transcribe that by ear. I'll try. All right, and I'll show you my process of that. But let me first play a song I just published, just posted, called Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. Really recommend you check this lesson out. It's such a beautiful song. So. I think capo is on the 2nd fret. Here we go. You got a fast car, I wanted to get to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working in the convenience store, managed to save just a little bit of money. You and I both get jobs, finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Lives by the bottle, that's the way it is. Says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to be looking like this. Mama went off and left him. She wanted more of life than he could give. So somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school, and that's what I did. So remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. See the lights laid out before. Your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. Had a feeling that I belong. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. So, was just practicing it. Great. Oh, good. Thanks, Julia. So, let's try some more content, and let me know questions or concerns about this. Next, before I go into some live transcribing here, let's talk. We've talked about the major scale and chord tones. I'm going to come back to that in a bit, but let me kind of take a shortcut to something that's crucial: Roman numerals. If you've been watching my videos lately, you'll notice that I've been going into music theory before we zoom into the hands, and I've been talking about the Roman numerals. And I've been doing that for a reason, because I'd love for my subscribers and my viewers to basically, get the skills you need to learn these things by ear, and get to know the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, in a way that's not just theoretical, but is actually practical. All right. So, Roman numerals. First off, what are they? So let's start from scratch. If I'm in the key of G major, how do I know it's in the key of G major? If I'm listening to a song, what feels like home? All right. If I have a chord progression, and I hear that chord, that feels like home. That feels like it resolved somewhere. That feels like where our ear is hearing. Okay, it doesn't have to be a chord, it could be a riff. That note feels like home, and that's a G note, so that would also be in G. So, hearing the 1 chord as home is going to be your first step. The next would be knowing that the 4 and 5 chords are major. Generally, not always. There's always exceptions, but the 4 and 5 chords are going to be major. So, if I know I'm in the key of G, I might think, all right, let me just take stock of the likely major chords in this song. I go to the 4. Now, how do I know it's the 4? I count up a major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 4. It's a C. C is now the root of a C major chord. The 4 chord is major. So, here's the 1 chord, 4 chord, 1, 4, 1. Now you might think, okay, I've got this down on the guitar. Then stop playing and hear it in your ear and sing it. 1, 4, 1. 1, 4, 1. Now, the next time you listen to a song, listen for that interval. Listen for that Roman numeral progression. 1, 4, 1, 5. So let's do that again. 1, 4, 1. Now I'm going to go to the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to 1. The 5 chord is probably the easiest chord to recognize after the 1, because it is the basis for Western music. What's called functionality or tonality. All right, the 5 chord makes us feel like we need to go back home. And they call it Mozart's alarm clock. Mozart famously slept in a lot. His mother would try to get him up by playing a 5 chord in the key of say, in the key of G by going, and leave that 5 chord hanging. And Mozart, being a genius, couldn't let that go until he got up and played with this ringing out a 1 chord. So there's your Roman numeral joke for the day, the Mozart's alarm clock. Meaning that you really want to hear the 5 chord as being the tension chord. That's why they call it the dominant chord, because it dominates our ear. And even if you don't know music theory, you know the sound of, you know that you don't have to have music theory training to know that that chord wants to resolve back to 1. So your homework, part of your homework is listening for the 5 chord, not only when you're playing guitar, but when you're listening. You could be standing in line or in a cafe and music is on, and can you hear that 5 chord? Doesn't matter what key. Let's say in the key of E, the 5 chord would be B. Back to the 1. And another homework assignment would be to pick a key every day or every session and then find the 5 chord. So let's say I'm in the key of A. What's the 5 chord? It's E. So go ahead and play a 1-5 progression, and don't just play it and say, okay, I know how to play that. Take the next step, tell your ear and tell your mind, I need to understand and recognize and even say out loud or sing the 1 and the 5 chord. Do, so, or 1, 5. There's the 5. Or I could sing the bass. 1, 5, 1 to the 5 chord. 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. Doing these things over and over again will train your ear. The sooner you get bored of doing that, the better. My jazz guitar teacher, Bruce Foreman, said that when you're bored, it means you're ready to grow. You're ready to learn new things. Okay, so we have O Mantra saying, I'm getting good at learning by ear. Self-taught for 10 years, and just by listening to the Pixies' Where Is My Mind, I was able to pick up my guitar and play through the chords. Congratulations, that's great. Where is my mind? Yeah, O Mantra. I need to look into the 5 chord a little more. Yeah, the 5 chord is what I recommend starting with. Then you would go to the 4 chord. So let's say we're in the key of A. Let's go to the 4 chord. I just realized Lean On Me would be a good example. Sometime into the 4 chord, back to the 1, then to the 1, sorry. Then to the 1 to 5, 1, 1 to the 4, back to the 1, da da da, 5, 1. Okay. So look at songs, find the 1, 4, and 5 chords, pick a different key every day. Now, do you guys want to see me try to transcribe a song by ear that I've never heard before? I may have heard We Can Run by Grateful Dead because I love Grateful Dead, but I've never played it on guitar. So let's try this out. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. I'm going to pull up We Can Run, Grateful Dead, which was a comment earlier. And I'm going to listen, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to learn it, all right? So hopefully this works all right here. So I already know it's in the key of A so far because I just hear the A bass going boom boom boom, and I hear licks in A major pentatonic. Okay. What if A feels like home? It's all A. Hear that bass? Oh, here's an E, F sharp, D, E. So far I hear A, D, F sharp minor, D, A, E, D. All right, how did I know that? Well, I've trained my ear to understand the Roman numerals so well that they're like old friends. They're like old buddies of mine. 1 chord to the 5 chord is E major. 6 chord, very important chord, is the 6 chord, F sharp minor, to the 4 chord. Now the lyrics start. Let's see if it keeps going. E, F sharp minor, D. Ooh. B minor. A, E, D, E, D, E, A. A, E, D, E, D. So, da-da-da-da, to the 5 chord, to the 4 chord, to the 5 chord, da-da-da-da. Okay, so I already get a sense of this song very quickly, and it's not because I was born with special abilities or anything. It's because I went through the process of training my ear to understand the 1 chord and the sound of the 5 chord, the sound of the 4 chord, 6 chord. Now, if I wanted to learn this and teach it on my channel, I would listen to it over and over to exactly get the rhythm, the strumming pattern. There's a lot more than just the chords, but it's a starting place. So it's easy for me to just do this, but why don't I give you something practical? What am I listening for if I'm more of a beginner? Okay, because for me, I've been doing this for 20 years. What am I listening for? I'm listening for the bass line. All right, so try to listen to this bass line here. There's the bass line. Bass line. B. So I heard the bass line go like this. B. See, I heard that bass play a B, and I know it's a B minor because it's the 2 chord. But I started with the bass line. So listen for the bass line. Phil Lesh. Don't worry about the exotic scales and playing all over the neck yet, right? You want to basically start with the bass line and the chord quality. In this case, if you know your Roman numerals, you know that the 4 and the 5 are major. So when the bass goes to E, I don't have to guess, is it minor or major? It's major, unless it sounds off. Not off, but unless it sounds like, ooh, that was an interesting sound. If it went like this, you would know that it's not in the key of A, because it just doesn't sound, it's a little bit different. So everything sounds nice and correct in terms of the key of A. 1, 5, then the 4 chord, 5. All right, so does that make sense? Thanks, Andrew. Yeah. Oh, hello, Burr. Nice to see you. Okay, good. Got some questions here. Vaiki asks how long I've been playing. I started learning when I was 16. Quite late for a professional. So I played, a couple hours a day as a beginner, which was hard to do because my fingers were killing me. But I did it, and I decided I wanted to be, this is what I want to do with my life. Pretty late, when I was in music school, a lot of people started when they were 10, 9, that kind of thing. So 20, I'm 36 now, so about 20 years. Okay. Zachary asked, play any other instruments? I do. I play a lot of instruments. Not anymore, but I play this instrument called a kora. It's a West African 21-string harp. And one of the life-changing experiences of my life was going to the Gambia, West Africa, for a month and studying with a teacher. And it's not in perfect tune right now. Yeah, it's not in tune. So let's not play it right now because it'll take too much time. But this is an instrument I play. Okay. Excuse me. My first instrument was flute, so I play that still. I also play saxophone. I also play cello. I play piano, bass. I sing. I play drums. That's about it. So I play mandolin and banjo and dobro. But yeah, I mainly just play guitar and kora and sing. But I used to play piano 2 or 3 hours a day. I wake up and I'd play Bach and drink a bunch of coffee. Just because I thought, if I'm going to become a doctorate of music, I want to really understand Baroque and classical music on the piano. So I don't have time for that anymore because I'm always teaching, but I love piano. I used to play cello a lot, and I don't have time for that. Flute and saxophone, same thing. So I used to try to play about 7 or 8 instruments every day, and it just took too much time. It's a good question. Good, I'm glad it makes sense. Hello, Tenzin. All right, and Julia, yeah, the Cora. Isn't the Cora just beautiful? I'll tune it up for next live stream and I'll try to play a little bit. So, this has been fun so far. We still have got some ways to go. So where are we here? Yeah, we're doing good with time. Let me play. I guess, yeah, let me play Elliott Smith, Angelus. And we'll talk a little bit more about a couple things. There's a few more things we really got to cover if we're going to talk about learning songs by ear. So we'll get into that. I'm just going to play a shortened version of this song called Angelus by Elliott Smith. Actually, no, I'm going to play an original. I'm going to try to play more originals in these streams. So this is another upcoming song called Explosions in Space. I'll just play a shortened version here so we can get back to the lesson. Somewhere in some distant sun, it's making all the things you are. When it all blows apart, comes crashing in, then begins making all the shooting stars. When it all blows apart, but nobody knows just where you are, constantly in motion. Explosions in space create the light in your eyes. They make clear blue skies. They create you and I. If the song is in the key of D, can you spot the 4 and 5 chords? There they are. 6 chord. 1, 4, 5, 1. To become one in the sun, making all the things we are, till it all blows apart. We come crashing in, then begin making all the shooting stars, burning off somewhere far. But nobody knows just who you are, like particles in an ocean, explosions in space create chord, 1 chord. All right. So, hi George. Good to see you. Pranshu, hello. How are you? I'm well. Hope you're doing well. Can you play Fly Me to the Moon? Or try to play Country Roads? Okay. Country Roads would be a great one for this channel, so I should do that. Let me talk a little bit more theory. Is this helping? Is this making sense? Am I losing you, or are these things you already know? You know, am I boring you? Right. So everyone's at a different level. So let me know what you think so far of this information. Justin, I was actually very pleasantly by the explosions in space. Thank you for sharing. Hopefully this live stream is posted. Good. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, this will post. It usually takes about 12 hours. So it will post probably in about 12 hours from now. So check it out. Thanks for saying hi. All right, what else? Now, what you want to do is you want to start with the bass line if you're learning a song. Check out the bass. Check out the Roman numerals and make sure that you're following the 1 4 5 is major, 2 3 6 is minor. And now you want to. There's so many ways to go. Let's quickly talk about minor. If you're in a minor key, you can start by thinking that the minor has a flat 3. Okay, so if I'm in E minor, the flat 3 chord would be G. And the minor scale has a flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. So don't just learn the minor scale and say, okay, I'm done. Take the next step and say, all right, let me sing this. 1 2 flat 3, flat 3 1, flat 3 4, flat 3 1, 4 5, flat 7. Right? If you know the pentatonic scale, flat 3 1. Sing the numbers. I know it seems silly. You just do it in the privacy of your own bedroom if you want. Right? Flat 3 1 4. What does that 4 sound like? And can I stop playing and say 4 flat 3 1 5? Always find the 5 by ear. 5 flat 3 1 1 flat 3 1 flat 7 5. Okay. It may sound silly, but this is what I did for years, and believe me, it helped. Good, not getting bored at all. I appreciate it. So do the same thing we talked about with major. Do it with minor. Do it with the minor scale, the minor pentatonic. Identify 1 through 7. Now do same thing with minor chords. 1 5 1 flat 3 5. Okay. Then when you're in a minor key, you can have the same Roman numerals as major, but this time in a minor setting. So 1 4 5 1 flat 6 flat 3 flat 7 1. Sorry, I was singing weird inversions with my voice, but the 5 chord can be either minor or major. It could be E minor or E major depending on the song. All right, so what I wanted to get to after that is 7th chords. Learn your 7th chords, because now we've got the chord tones 1, 3, and 5, and then you can add 7 in there to just continue to understand the notes that are happening in a song. So if I have a 7th chord, let's say I'm playing, let's say I'm playing in the key of D. And I hear this. Don't get freaked out, right? It's still a D chord. You still hear a D bass, you still hear a major, but now we've just added a 7. Here's a major 7. We know it's a major 7 because this is a C sharp and it's the 7th note of a scale. Now you hear this after that. That's a D dominant 7, and that's a C natural. Whole step away from the root. So as you learn, every time you learn a song, every time you learn a chord, you want to tell your mind and tell your ear, hey, that's a 7, that's a major 7, that's a dominant 7. And after you do that several hundred times, you'll start to basically hear those things so that you can pick up songs by ear. Let's say you've got D major 7, D dominant 7. Let's say you hear this chord. That would be D minor 7. Very similar to D minor, just adding a C natural. So you've got 1 flat 3 5 flat 7. All right, Flake by Jack Johnson. So any other songs you want me to learn by ear? To transcribe in real time? Yeah, it's like a huge subject, so these live streams are a good way for me to flesh out some ideas for you to work on. Doesn't mean that I can just tell you. I mean, I know that a lot of YouTubers will say, this one thing will transform your playing. It's like, okay, probably not, right? But so I try to avoid things like that because I don't want to mislead you. So the truth is, if you basically work on a bunch of things, you want to connect it all. And then it will transform your playing. All right, that I totally believe in transforming your playing. It's just a matter of there's not one thing. Okay, that would be unrealistic. It's a lot of things. So major scale, chord tones. Minor scale, chord tones. Pentatonic, saying the numbers. What else? Well, seventh chords. Major 7, dominant 7, minor 7. Okay? Take notes if you want. I will be covering all this stuff continually in the channel. Sing. You want to sing these things. All right? And then triads. Okay, we'll talk about that in a sec. Actively listening. Listening for the bass line. Just summarizing what I've been saying. All right, we got another submission here. So George is asking, what is meant by relative minor? Relative minor is saying if I'm in the key of G major and all of a sudden I hear an E minor chord, that is the relative minor, meaning the same key signature. If there's a song in G major, you'll see 1 sharp, F sharp, as told by the scale. If I play E minor, it's also just 1 sharp, F sharp minor. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's the F sharp in both keys. Everything else is a natural note. So it's the same exact notes. For instance, if I play a G shape of C, excuse me if you don't know caged yet, but it's okay. Just follow my logic here. Here's C, major pentatonic. Does this shape look familiar? Probably if you've ever played this shape, A minor pentatonic. So A minor is the relative minor of C major. Same notes, starting 3 frets down or from the 6th degree. C major, A minor. C major, same notes. A minor. Same exact note, same exact key signature. It's the 6th chord of major. The relative major to minor would be the flat 3 chord. Here's the key of A minor, and the flat 3 is the relative major. Okay. Good. So John Frusciante, Untitled number 11. All right. So it's a little risky for me to try this because I may find something that's really difficult, but let's give it a shot. So John Frusciante. I love him, by the way. Truly a genius. He is just the best. Untitled number 11. No results found. Okay. Untitled 11. Here we go. I only am showing this studio version. Sorry, so I don't have the live version. Let me just check this out for a sec. We have some pitch drift going on here. It's all in D minor, so I'm hearing D minor. So far, what I'm hearing is, okay. So first off, he's using a whammy pedal to go up an octave. So it sounds like it's up there, but really what he's probably doing is more like, and having I can tell he's using a pedal there. But that's the key of D minor. 1, flat 3, flat 7, flat 6. 1, flat 3, flat 7, flat 6. Okay, how did I know that? Well, I listened for what felt like home, and D minor felt like home. Then I heard the bass, the lowest note of the guitar, go from here to F to C to B flat. And if I know my minor scale, those are all notes in the minor scale. 1, flat 3, flat 7, flat 6. And I know that in the minor scale, flat 3, flat 7, and flat 6 are all major. Okay, now he's got some pitch drift going on, so this would be, I'd have to kind of tune my guitar a little bit. Good, I'm glad that helped, George. All All right, Carvel. Yeah, we can look at that. So I'd love to learn the chords for Untitled, even the album version. I think that there are tools. It's one of the more popular versions. Really, it's the chords when he starts singing. Oh, okay. Let me fast forward to when he starts singing then. A minor, F, C, G minor, D minor, C, B flat, D minor, A minor, F, D minor. Okay, hopefully that helps. That was a tough one because there's some crazy pitch shift going on. All right, let's look at Carvel. This was fun. Hopefully this is fun for you. Kind of throwing myself into the fire. All right, Carvel. Here we go. Sounds like B minor so far. A, F sharp. It's relative pitch. D, C sharp. Just heard a bass note play D to B. There's the fifth. Flat 3. 2, flat 7, 5. Okay. Play around with a B minor scale, you'll notice it sounds good. There's a high B up here. Okay. Let's get to the chords here. G. All right, so it's B minor, F sharp minor to G. Okay. So far we've got la da 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 da. Here's a 1 chord 5 to flat 6. All right. Clearly B minor, that feels like home. We hear the bass playing the B, 5, flat 6. We know that it's minor because it's not that, right? So it's either major or minor, it's minor. 1, 5 is minor because it's not that, right? So you compare the both. Flat 6 is almost always major. Da, 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 da. All right? So that's how I would go about that. I know that there's probably more, but in terms of timing, let's start with that. So does that make sense? You find what feels like home. You find if it's major or minor. If it's major or minor, then you find the corresponding Roman numerals. Listen for the bass. Listen for the chord qualities, major or minor, for each one. And if it sounds like it's within a key, then you can kind of rely on the Roman numerals. All right. You're welcome, Ben. All right. And thanks, Julia. So yeah, maybe I'll do a lesson on that. So I'm doing things that takes years of training, right? I know that it's like, okay, well, you just did that. How do you do that? It's a matter of knowing the minor scale so well that when somebody plays a chord from the minor scale, it's like an old friend, all right? I just know the sound of that 5 chord. I know the sound of that flat 6 chord very well. Regardless if it's B minor or A minor or E minor. If it's E minor, let's say I want to play that same song, but my friend wants to sing it lower or higher. 1 chord, 5 chord, flat 6. These things are relative, right? Which brings me to relative pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch, and that's something you can learn. So I should mention I'm going to be posting more stuff like this on the Patreon, ear training. That's not going to be available to YouTube. So please check out the Patreon. We've got some people here who are part of it, Julia and a few others. And we're having a great time. And for $2 a month, you can get access to over 40 or 50 tabs. For $5, I've started to post chord melody arrangements. Yesterday I posted my Sweet Virginia chord melody solo with all the notes written out. So that's a great way to support the channel, is the Patreon. You can also do super chat. Hey, James, and James is a patron. Good to see you, James. He's been sending me some Instagram photos of these beautiful guitars that he has. So yeah, and follow me on Instagram at MT Guitar Lessons. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. If you're watching right now, please hit that thumbs up. Because it is a smaller channel, and these things really make a difference, all your support. So, questions, concerns, comments, doubts, aspirations, goals. Probably nearing the end. Got to teach a class later today. I actually teach at a community college here, so wanted to hop on the stream and interact with you all. Yeah, it's been 57 minutes, so I think that's probably enough. I don't want to overload people as far as the content. And if you're just tuning in, this will post in about 12 hours. But yeah, if you want to join the Patreon, I will be able to respond to your questions also there and take requests. And if you want me to tab something out, I usually can do that. So something to consider. So to recap, yeah. George says, I can't think of any until you leave. Yeah, that's how I am too with my teachers. So learn the major scale and the chord tones, minor scale chord tones. Learn 7th chords. And learn triads. So triads would be if I take a C major chord, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings would be root position 1, 3, 5. The 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings would be 3, 5, 1, so that's first inversion. The first 3 strings would be 5, 1, 3, so that's second inversion. So do that with caged. Right? I know that's really fast and oversimplified, but something to put on your to-do list. You want to sing these things. You want to sing these intervals. We haven't even talked about intervals. We'll do that another day. And just train your ear. Just give it a go. When you're listening to a song, instead of just feeling lost, try to find the 1 chord. That's the place to start, right? What key is this song in? Then look up the Roman numerals, even on Google or on one of my lessons, whatever. How to know about Roman numerals, and notice. Okay, is there a 4 chord in this song? There probably is. Is there a 5 chord? There probably is. Is there a 6 chord, etc. Yeah, we have lots of homework, I know. I have a tendency of going through a lot of material, so not to overwhelm you, more to give you things to do so that you're never bored and you're always improving. So I guess we'll leave it there. I'm not going to play a song out because I think this is a good amount of time here, about an hour. So good to see you all. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing and hitting the thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, checking out the Patreon. I can't tell you how excited I am to deliver this content to you and interact with you. So I really appreciate you tuning in as always. And, happy practicing. Have a wonderful weekend. Always feel free to comment, say hello. All right? Good to see you all. Happy practicing. Rock on.